The next player on my list is Malik McDowell. The Seattle Seahawks took him early in the second round. McDowell is a freak athlete and has incredible burst off the line of scrimmage. He has loose hips and has shown on tape that he has potential to be a playmaker in the NFL. The main reason why he fell out of the first round was due to his effort, or really, his lack of effort by the end of the season. At Michigan State, McDowell was the Spartans' best defender by far. If you want a fantastic game, go ahead and watch what he did versus Notre Dame. He made plays everywhere, lining up all over the defensive line, and he was downright dominant. He has a lot of moves. He has a good rip move, he has a good swim move, and he can also do a strong one-arm stab move. He also flashed some of the counters with a spin and a push-pull bull jerk after his initial pass rush failed. McDowell can also rush with tempo. What that means is that not only can he penetrate quickly, but he can delay his rush to open a gap and take advantage of it. After taking a delay step to his left, he uses his right arm to swipe away the blocker's hands. Then he swims past him with his left arm to get into the backfield to hit the quarterback. This skill set is very rare. You don't see many pass rushers in college that can string moves together like he can. He also showed a great ability to use his burst off the line of scrimmage to steal his gap and then use his strength to disengage from the blockers and run defense. McDowell has really fluid hips and he uses them to chase plays laterally. Versus Wisconsin, he gives up ground initially but uses his hands to stay disengaged from the blocker in order to turn back and tackle the ball carrier. Now, you may ask why he didn't have greater production in college. Surely he should have done more. Well, first, don't call me Shirley. And second, the answer is actually twofold. Michigan State defense had very little talent surrounding him. In order to overcome this, they ran a lot of stunts and games to create pass rush. Since he consistently drew double teams, he was used as a decoy to open up blitzing lanes for various linebackers. Also, the other reason he wasn't as successful was mainly due to his effort, especially late in the season. Early in the season, versus Notre Dame, he was such a dynamic player. He consistently ran with a motor to chase plays. In this play, McDowell lines up across from the center, he sheds the block by the right guard, and then swims past the second block by the pulling left guard. He then chases the running back down from behind. If you were only watching his play early in the season, there would have been no basis for his effort as a problem. The issue actually came late in the season, after Michigan State started losing multiple games in a row. Versus Michigan, he showed no effort in pass rush, and by my count, I didn't record a single pressure that was directly caused by him. For further proof, look back at the stunt that I showed versus Notre Dame. He aggressively fought to gain penetration through his assigned gap, even when he wasn't the focal point of the play. Now rewatch the Michigan play that I just showed, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This effort killed me, especially in run defense. He casually jogged out plays in backside run duties, not even attempting to help his defense. Realistically, he wouldn't have made a play here, but his consistent lack of effort stopped him from having a chance. From a technique standpoint, McDowell gets too tall and will often stand straight up after the snap. He loses leverage at the point attack and gets driven backwards by average to above average guards. There were multiple plays versus BYU where he was out-leveraged immediately after the ball was snapped. McDowell also has a narrow base and gets blocked to the ground a fair bit. This is especially the case when he uses his shoulders to initiate contact as opposed to using his hands to throw a punch at the blockers. In addition to some leverage and technique issues, McDowell didn't have the best awareness for what offenses were trying to do to him. I'm not sure if that's film study or another reason, but he tended to get trap blocked a fair bit, not having the awareness to realize what was going on. Projecting his fit in Pete Carroll's defense is really interesting to me. In Seattle, Carroll runs a 4-3 under defense as his base. Typically, you run this scheme with one-gapping players that are hell-bent on penetration. Now while this is usually true, Carroll has mixed in two-gapping principles as well, just based on the current players in his defense. When he had Red Bryant, for example, he used him as a two-gapping, run-stuffing defensive end. Based on everything we've talked about so far, I think McDowell is a perfect fit for the weak side defensive tackle position. In this role, he'll be asked to one-gap and penetrate using his pass rushing skills. He'll be able to create the interior pass rush that Seattle desperately needs. Last year, Michael Bennett and Tabor Rubin played this role. Both are still on the team, but Rubin is much better suited as a rotational player, while Bennett can still play defensive end. When McDowell's on the field, he'll be able to take the majority of Rubin's snaps. For his pro comparison, Carlos Dunlap is your guy. McDowell has close to 20 pounds on him, but they have similar arm length and burst off the line of scrimmage. Both also had question marks about their production and inconsistent work ethic in college. Throughout his career, Dunlap has consistently produced about 8 sacks per season. If McDowell can refine his technique and put in the effort required to be a professional athlete, he has the upside to match this number. And as I said before, I like this pick, especially with the veteran presence of Seattle's locker room, but the rest is up to McDowell. Well, that's all I have for you in this video. I've already created scouting reports on Ethan Pocic and Amar Darboh, so make sure you check those out as well. Next on the menu is TJ Watt, who was picked by the Steelers at the end of the first round. Just like last week, I posted a poll on Twitter and he was the most requested player. Go ahead and follow me at Samuel R. Gold to vote in the next poll, and if you want to support this channel, click on the link to my Patreon account as well.